everyone, my name is Black Witch Dyra. I am a Luciferian witch of the Left Hand Path and an occult educator. Welcome back to my channel. And welcome to those new here. If the occult is a passion and interest of yours, please consider subscribing to my channel where I talk about all things occult and I upload twice a week on a Wednesday and a Saturday. So today I am going to be talking about working with Santa Muerte and my experience and all of those things. I've previously done a video on her and I'm kind of adding onto that. So but before I get into that, a few announcements. So where are we at? Group rituals. So group rituals are now members only. Please do not subscribe to memberships via YouTube, please do it via my website. But yeah, it means that you get access to group rituals twice a month. And that is much cheaper than actually buying a place on the ritual. But yeah, they are now members only, so that's a new perk on the memberships. If you're interested, you can go and check it out via the website. In terms of the clearance sale, we're nearly all sold out. Got some mystery boxes left, so get on those because once they're gone, they are gone. And finally, Initiation Infernal, that has now started. We have our next class tonight. This will be our second class. I missed a week because I was ill. And yeah, but registration, I'm leaving it open until 4 weeks in, just for latecomers. So yeah, if you would still like to get involved, there's still a little bit of time. So you can check that out via my website, or you can book in a free discovery call. The link to that is in the description. So working with Santa Muerte. So I have been working with Santa Muerte longer than I've been working with demons. She's kind of like my first. She is the first thing that I've ever felt an intense connection with. And the connection is very different to what I have with demons. It's more, basically there's love there. With demons there's not. With her there is. There's nurturing, there's love, there's compassion, there's care. So I think the first thing is, you know, what she has done for me. I love, what I love about her is that she has her devotees' best interest. So with demons, they don't really give a shit. So morally speaking, they don't really care, and they don't care about your feelings. If you ask for something, they might give it to you even if it's bad for you to teach you a lesson. Or they might not give it to you because you'll learn more of a lesson by not getting that thing. It really depends on where your main growth is going to be, right? With Santa Muerte, I have asked her for things that I haven't got. I have begged her for things that I haven't got. And she hasn't given them to me because in hindsight I realise how bad those things were for me and how much it would have hindered me if I'd got those things. So that's one thing. It's like she really does care about you. I think a massive thing that has been a bit of an obstacle in my relationship with Santa Muerte is imposter syndrome. I spoke about this a little bit when I was talking about working with Lucifer, and the imposter syndrome is a little bit different. The imposter syndrome is a little bit more obvious because I'm not Mexican, and yeah, you don't need to be Mexican to work with Santa Muerte. You know, she is death, she comes to everyone, but there's always going to be someone that thinks you are appropriating somebody else's culture by working with her. There's always someone that's going to perceive that you are taking something away from the native people of Mexico by working with her, which I am not doing. And I remember someone accused me of trying to make money off of Santa Muerte, right? And I was like, can you please tell me how I'm doing that? And they were like, well, you have a candle of her, you're selling a Santa Muerte candle on your website. I was like, well, if I make one for every single other spirit or demon that I work with, it's a bit mean to leave her out, do you know what I mean? Like, why would I not help another person venerate Santa Muerte? You know, like, yeah, I'm making money off of it, obviously, it's my fucking shop, but it's like, I'm not gonna leave her out of it to be like, oh no, I can't do that, it's appropriation, like, or I'm making money off of her. Like, no, I don't, it's purely like an inclusion thing, you know. She's very important in my practice, and she has been in my practice for longer than I have worked with demons. So it's not about making money off of her. And I also have courses on working with Santa Muerte as well. And people might think that, you know, oh, you're making money off of her, you're using her to make money. I'm not fucking using her to, do you know how long I had to work with her before I released that shit? And how I remember the day that I published my first ever paid content on working with Santa Muerte, and the feeling that I got after I did that, I felt an intense kind of like self-doubt. And then I felt an intense anger come from her. And I was like, why are you angry with me? I was like, should I not have done that? She was like, no, I'm angry with you because you got this self-doubt. Like, you've worked so hard on this and I've guided you through the process, and now you're just taking a big shit on it. Like, fucking have some pride. So, you know, I very much go, what I've learned from this experience is that I go off of what she tells me. I go off of my relationship with her, not what other people tell me about my relationship with her. Like, they don't know me. They don't know my relationship with her. So, fuck it. You know, that's basically what I've learned and how I've navigated through that. But I do still have a little bit of that crop up sometimes. I've had it about making this video today. I'm like, what's the feedback going to be? I'm going to be called a fucking colonizer. And, which I am not. I can confirm that I have not colonized any land, and that I do not have the power to do that. I don't know who the fuck my ancestors were, whether they had a part in it or not, but I'm not about to carry that fucking guilt around, thank you. I've got enough of my own shit to work through, so please don't put that on me. And I can't, quite frankly, like, you know, don't call me that. Call me whatever you want, but don't call, I've said it before in another video, you can call me what you want. Don't call me a fucking colonizer, because that is one thing I am definitely not, okay? So, let's talk about some misconceptions. And I've covered these misconceptions before, I think. But there's a few new ones that have kind of come up for me that I've seen. So, the reason that I'm so insistent on the fact that I don't take anything away from the practice of working with Santa Muerte, right? Or I'm not trying to whitewash her or turn her into what I want her to be, right? Because a lot of people, especially left-hand path people, are in denial about the fact that she is a Catholic folk saint. That is what she is. Yeah, in her older Aztec form, Mictacasihuatl, yeah, of course she wasn't a Catholic folk saint then, but that is what she is now. And that's what she's been for over like the last century. So you can't deny that. You can't just take that bit out and be like, yeah, I don't like it. You have to accept that that is what she is. It doesn't mean you have to venerate her and say, you know, say 3 Our Fathers when you pray to her. Some people will disagree with that and say that is the only way to venerate her, but which in fact it is not. And yeah, of course, death has been present for longer than Christianity has. That is an argument. But in the form and the, let's say, mask that you are working with her in as Santa Muerte, she's a Catholic folk saint, and you need to respect that. You can't be taking things out, okay? Because that is disrespectful to the culture and to the practice. So that's one thing, that misconception of like, no, she's not really a Catholic folk saint. She is. And the clue is in the word folk saint, okay? Of course she's not accepted by Catholicism. They think she's fucking demonic, right? So it's not saying she is Catholic, it's Catholic folk saint. It's folk magic. There's a difference. And of course, like, I don't venerate her in the way that, like, I say 3 Our Fathers when I pray to her. Like, I don't include the Father, the Son and the Holy Ghost in my prayers to her, because that would just purely be counterintuitive. And the thing is with prayer, I really feel like you need to mean it. So yeah, you know, but I don't have a fucking problem with it. I'm not like, oh no, she can't be a Catholic folk saint because I'm uncomfortable with that, because that's not how it fucking works. You have to accept things for what they are. The second thing is as well is that I believe, and you feel free to disagree with me on this, it's absolutely fine. It's not going to bother me. And I really hope that my opinion doesn't bother you. Don't let my opinion bother you. And if it does, that is your problem. But I believe that working with Santa Muerte is a very black and white thing. I do believe that. I believe that you're either devotee or you are not. I believe that I don't think you can work with her in a lukewarm way. I don't believe in venerating Santa Muerte sometimes. I believe that you're either a devotee or you're not. It's just what I believe, okay? Take that with a pinch of salt if you want. That's just... I just feel a little bit uncomfortable and confused when someone says, yeah, you know, I work with her a little bit, or... and I'm not talking about the frequency in which you work. Like, you could work with her very frequently and not necessarily be a devotee, right? It's the nature and the dynamic of the relationship that you have with her. It's like, yeah, I venerate her, but I'm not a devotee. And I think that's what scares people about working with Santa Muerte, is that, you know, if you're a devotee, that is what you are, and it's not really something you can go back on. Some people say there is ways to. I'm not aware of any specific ways or means that you back out of being a devotee. When I tried to stupidly back out as a devotee back in like 2020, let's just say things nearly burnt down. So the thing is that you need to be really, really careful about working with Santa Muerte and make sure that it is something that you are willing to dedicate yourself to, because if you're not, she gets really upset. Like, she doesn't get like pissed off, she gets upset. It breaks her heart, right? Because she sees you as her child, right? So it's like a child disowning their mother. So this really is the dynamic that you're working with here. So that's another misconception. I feel that you can be lukewarm with Santa Muerte. I genuinely really feel with my whole being that it is a very black and white thing. Doesn't mean that you can't go a period of time not working with her. Like, obviously you want to maintain her altar, make offerings, say a few prayers, and you know, you're not necessarily doing like active spell work or novenas, but that's not what working with Santa Muerte is necessarily about. She's not there just to help you with some spell work. She's there as a guide in your life and a protector in your life. So it doesn't mean that you have to work with her constantly to be a devotee. It's more about her having a place in your life and in your heart. Another thing as well, I do think that in countries such as the UK, where I am native to, and perhaps other places, like, I don't know the extent to which people work with Santa Muerte in Europe. In the UK, it's few and far between from what I've found, from the people that I've met. Obviously in Mexico, it's a much, much, much bigger deal. The thing is, in Mexico though, is what I've found from being there, and I am also moving to Mexico, which I'm so excited for, and how that is going to help develop my practice with Santa Muerte, and being immersed in a culture where she is very much, you know, venerated and respected. There is a bit of a divide though from what I've seen. Like, there are people that work with her, and then the people that are fucking shit scared of her. Like, it really depends on how you how she's viewed, sort of thing, because there's association with the cartels, right? And I've said this before, and people got mad about, like, oh, Santa Muerte devotees are criminals now, are they? It's like, look, you cannot deny that Mexican cartels work with Santa Muerte for certain means, right? It's a thing. It's a documented thing. It happens, okay? You can't be in denial. It doesn't mean that, like, you know, you can't have a Santa Muerte practice which is, let's just say, good, you know, or for good reasons. There's a spectrum of reasons why people... That's why she has so many aspects. That's why she is so versatile to work with. She has so many different aspects. And people have motives. So I think because of that stigma of there being the cartel and them having work done for them with Santa Muerte, yeah, people associate her with that kind of activity, unless of course they are devotees themselves, or they practice, or people that practice Santeria. So yeah, you know, there's a mixture of perspectives of her in Mexico, which I find very, very interesting, and I'm keen to explore that more. So do expect more kind of content on Santa Muerte coming, and you know, for the next 5 to 8 years in which I will be living in Mexico. So yeah, exciting stuff. So basically, to sum up that point, she is viewed differently. Obviously, there's a contrast in which she is viewed over here in the UK, and obviously how she's viewed across the pond. So that's a whole thing as well. So it's something to bear in mind when you're working with her, like how kind of an authentic understanding are we getting of her, without first-hand experiencing the culture. So, you know, I do urge people to do a hell of a lot of research on her, as much as they possibly can, particularly into the cultural stuff, because she is native to Mexico. Like, there's no whitewashing her. You can't be doing that. You can't be kind of you know, going, yeah, well, you know, I've kind of developed my own like European kind of thing with Santa Muerte. Like, yeah, I mean, there is a pagan approach to working with her, but like, you're not gonna get the real kind of richness of it all unless you're kind of, I'm not saying everyone has to go to Mexico. I mean, if you want to do a pilgrimage to Mexico, brilliant fucking idea, but just try and research it. Research her and her history as much as you possibly can, because, you know, especially if you're living somewhere you don't have the same access as you would in her native land. So yeah, I think that's going to sum up my video for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week for a new video. Goodbye for now.